It's my time. Precision move, sharp and clean. Living life on this money machine. Scalping seconds, slicing fast. Ride the wave, don't let it pass. Green and red, they set the tone. Win or lose, I'm in the zone. Trade the dots, connect the line. Profits calling, it's my time. Precision moves, sharp and clean. Living life on this money machine. Every tick's a heartbeat loud. High stakes play, I'm feeling proud. Risk and thrill, it's all the same. One more trade to up my game. Pivots turn, I'm locked and sure. Cut the losses, keep it pure. Every trend, I see the clues. I'll ride the highs and dodge the blues. Trade the dots, connect the line. Profits calling, it's my time. Precision moves, sharp and clean. Living life on this money machine.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing? Somebody give me a sound check. Let me know if you guys hear me okay, if everything is good. Good morning, everybody. We're going to jump right into it today. I am trying to see if we can get any kind of trend trades going. S&P kind of turning to the uptrend. NASDAQ did turn to the uptrend, but then just had a big retrace. I got clipped out of this trade a little bit, and I stopped myself out early because it clearly was just market opening noise. But we will see if the market wants to consolidate it to a positive trend right now, and trade trend only in this one account, and then trade counter trend only in the other account. Just a little bit of Friday fun for everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We're just starting. It's 5 minutes after the open. I made the cardinal mistake of trading the open, which is always, I was like, oh, this is close enough. Let me try it. I actually took this trade in another account that worked fine, but obviously this was just a big stretch. You should always give yourself the first 5 minutes to not trade. Anyways, let's see what the next few minutes brings as far as trend trades go. S&P still, by the way, just letting you know here, S&P still in a downtrend right now. The large trend is, or the small trend is below, the short-term trend is below the long-term trend. So maybe it's on the cusp of changing, or maybe it's just simply was the spike on the open and we're going to start to sell off. Markets were kind of selling off the whole night long. Natural, profit taking. We were very robust against tariff news, but the tariff news still kind of dogging the market. Summertime, just like a million different things that could make us go both ways. Friday is always like a very roller coastery thing. But what we're going to focus on is just simply waiting patiently for the setup today. Again, NASDAQ is positive bid, S&P is negative bid. So let's see which trend wants to win out over the next 10 minutes. Won't have any trades for like the next 10 minutes probably until we get a setup. All right, S&P sort of crossing. You see the short-term moving average crossing over the long-term moving average, kind of peeking into an uptrend. If this thing gives us a green dot, that actually will be a legit uptrend trade. In the meantime, let's take a look what NASDAQ wants to do. Okay, same thing with NASDAQ. NASDAQ has established itself uptrend. We need a green dot for momentum, and the slope is obviously green and positive. So everything's setting up our way if we can get a signal. Just waiting to see a signal. Those of you who have wealth charts, the new BFF indicator has been updated. It's only available to anybody who is part of my coaching. So make sure you get my coaching. Here's the offer. And if you have my coaching, you get to have this indicator, which basically gives you all the buy and sell signals you need. All right, NAS is showing a little bit of weakness. Where's the S&P? S&P also. Everybody's kind of all over the place right now in terms of floating. So we'll have to see what's going on here. Very, very choppy action actually right before the market opened. We had very nice clean trends all the way till about 7 o'clock. A really nice clean counter trend after that, and now just been sort of chopping for the last hour, trying to figure out which way we want to go. The dominant story is that it's still a downtrend structure, right? So you sort of, if you're looking at the whole day and where the pressure is, the pressure is still on the sell side, and we're actually turning negative on the S&P. Let's see where we are on NASDAQ. NASDAQ is still positive bit. So let's focus on S&P. S&P, you see how the short-term trend is turning red? If we get a red dot over here on the close, that will give us a sell signal on the S&P. So we can take it if we get the sell signal. Thank you, Dr. D. Dr. D is coming up with very, very much appreciated Friday things. Also, I love the fact that you got the Rocky statue there. Are you from Philadelphia? That is so much fun, by the way, to run the steps of the Philly Museum and pretend that you're Rocky. And they have a great statue right on top of the steps there. It's beautiful. All right, we definitely have a clean sell signal in the S&P. If this thing holds, 50 seconds left on the clock. If the pattern holds at this, we're going to go short, try to trade our trend structure. But we've got to have the selling pressure stay with us. $23 seconds left. Still waiting for this candle to close. We have the red dot. We have the red slope. We have the downtrend, and it disappears. So the range structure continues. We're going to wait for this candle to close and see how it prints, because it looks like it's going to go away. Yep, it goes away. No sell signal for us here. How is the NASDAQ doing? NASDAQ also doing nothing. And NASDAQ is actually sort of showing us a sell signal, but in a counter trend mode. So we're not going to, we actually could do this in our counter trend. Let's just take this in a counter trend account and sell. I'm actually a little bit late on this, but fine. Since what I decided we're going to do is we're going to trade counter trend trades only. Did I screw this up? Oh, that's weird. Why did this, That's really weird. That, okay, let's try this. That's very weird. We entered short and exited short, even though I had a 20 tick stop on this. Oh, that's weird. All right, let me try this again. Sell. Yeah, this is correct trade now. 83 is a target. Maybe it hit our target. There it is. It hits our target. So the counter trend trade works in NASDAQ. And now we turn our attention back to the S&P. And S&P now may be setting up a trend trade for us. So I'm going to go back to my trend. This is my trend trade account, actually. Oh, this is really cool. I forgot that this actually remembers the accounts. Look how nice this is. This is the counter trend account. This is the trend account that actually remembers that I don't have to change accounts here. All right, 21 seconds left. If this is a red dot, it's going to be a sell signal for us. But it's not. It goes away. So we're, just going to be very, very patient on watching our trades. No sell signal yet in the S&P. In the meantime, NASDAQ is still positive bid because the short term is above, but it gave us a counter trend signal, which we just took, and that worked nicely. But we're really chopping around with very little directionality. If you look at this, we are in a 30-point range in NASDAQ for the last hour and a half or 2 hours. So not a lot of activity going on here. All right, NASDAQ, S&P, which is kind of a cleaner trade in some ways because it's still showing a clean, definitive downtrend. Again, waiting for that red dot. We don't get a red dot. We don't get a momentum dot. We don't get a trade. So we're not taking the trade until and unless we get a momentum dot. On wealth charts, just hit the refresh button. If you hit the refresh button, you'll automatically get the BFF dots. Okay, 43 seconds left. Let's see if this trade holds. We need to see 81.50 or lower on the close, and that's going to give us the signal. "24 seconds left. Let's see if we get a little bit of momentum going on over here. 18 seconds left. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sell. Oh, sell. All right. Limit is 79.75. 79.75 on this trade. Let's take a look at where NQ is doing. NQ is now starting to curl towards the downside, but we'll see. It's it's basically one step down, two step backwards. Kind of a very choppy trade for us in where's my thing? What happened to my S&P? Still in it. I'm still in the trade. Okay. I'm in the 103 account. 79.75 is my target. And we're done. And we're done. Nice and clean. Trend trade works like it almost always does. Now we turn our attention to NQ, and we see what's going on over here. Don't quite have the trend yet, but NQ is turning down. You guys, thank you, so kind. I really appreciate the Friday, the Friday shout outs. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I'm really glad you guys are enjoying it. It's a 4-1, Charles. 4-1. 4 target, 1, 4 stop, 1 target. Or 416, 416 if you're using ticks. You can literally see it over here. Everything you see, everything is on my charts here. All right, NAS going negative. Good. So now we got actual trend confirmed. What we need is momentum. We have the slope going down. We need red dots. So this has actually got to go all the way down below 2860 if it's going to give us a signal. So far, nothing. If we go in the S&P, S&P is already completed its trade. So now we have to be very patient, looking for the next setup in the S&P. But there is a potential setup in NASDAQ, maybe over the next couple of trades. So the counter trend trade in NASDAQ worked. The trend trade in the S&P worked. And now we're just going to be very patient to see what the market wants to do. Are we still going to be? Sorry. Oh wow. The question is, are we still trading kind of range, or are we going to finally create some kind of a directional move? Because obviously we want a directional move. That's the best kind of move we can have. Love starting the day out with a win. Thank you. I know, me too. It's nice, nice move. Okay, counter trend buy signal in S&P, nowhere near what we need to see. The slope needs to be green. Everything needs to kind of flip out. But what's interesting is that you can really see that the selling pressure just doesn't really have any follow through. Let's take a look at the S&P. S&P is actually S&P has much more of a pronounced selling signature. NASDAQ seems to be more positive. So there's no trades in either one. But what's interesting here is because the ranges are so tight, this whole thing could turn into a trend trade. The NASDAQ could turn into a complete trend trade if the short-term moving average flips back up. Like right now, you have 2 green dots, but the slope itself, the short-term moving slope, which is the 8-period SMA slope, is still red. Right, still red. Hasn't even started to turn green. But it's interesting that sort of like the first, this is what first 15 minutes. They puked it down, and now they're trying to bite everything back. And now the slope turns green, and now we have everything more or less turning green. So we could probably consider this to be a trend trade. And if this whole thing stays at these levels at 25, 26, 27s, you see how this turns green, this turned green. This is above. This is all a trend trade. Now we have 44 seconds left, so it's a long way to wait. If this holds at these levels, that's a buy for us. If it doesn't, we just let it go. But we're preparing ourselves for a potential trend buy. $14 seconds left. Seven, 3, 2, 1, buy. All right, we're in 37.50 is our target. And we're done. And the trend trade works again, and we hit another winner on the trend side. Just very clean. Just, I'm really only going to try and trade the trend trade structures. Where's the S&P? S&P actually, S&P created, we could have taken, we just didn't have, we can only do one trade at a time, right? So we couldn't take the S&P because I was busy trading NASDAQ. But S&P now is a counter trend signal. You have the green slope, you have this, you have a minute 16 left on this. So we can go into our counter trend trade, which is the 109, And if this holds at these levels, we would be entitled to a counter trend trade if we wanted to, if we wanted to be there. But it's obviously, it's got to have a green dot. The slope is already green, so that's pretty good. Almost, we have like 2 out of the 3 trades in our dimension, but that's got to, all those things have got to hold. And so far, that doesn't really hold. What I'm doing is I'm separating the trend trades from the counter trend trades, taking only the trend trades in this account, which I'm trying to really target towards funding, and the other one I'm trading. This is the counter trend account, and we're just gonna trade it small and just run it that way. Welcome, Uganda. Who's new in the room, guys? Who's new in the room? Say hi to me. Love to know what you guys are doing. Say hi to me today. Wow, man, it's really, I find it fascinating. I'm always shocked that Friday is the least attended day. I would have thought everybody wants to trade Friday because it's the last trade of the day, but it's like everybody takes Friday. I guess everybody takes Fridays off in the summertime. Wow, literally half the amount of people in the room that we normally have. Just sort of fascinating to me how Fridays, nobody's really trading Fridays. Okay, here we go. We need a green dot. We get a green dot in the S&P. That's going to be a pretty decent counter trend trade for us. As far as NASDAQ goes, we're in positive trade, but we already made our money. So now we just have to go to the S&P. Does everybody have the latest version of BFF dots with the color changing moving averages here? That really helps you to extract the setup. 46 seconds left on the clock. If this thing goes green dot, we're going to go long on it. So far, nothing. NASDAQ also kind of weakening out a little bit, but NASDAQ is still positive bid, so that's good. When I say positive bid, it means that it means positive trend. The short term is above the long term. When I say negative bid, it means negative trend, but the short term is below the long term. Gina, Gina? I'm not sure do you have, applies only to people who are part of my coaching. If you're part of my coaching, you should have the dots only, and you probably, what I would recommend is the following. Go in here, go into add indicators, go into more indicators, go to Boris Schlossberg, go to dots only. You should have that. Anybody who's got scalper should have dots only. And then when you click that, just simply hit refresh and you'll have the latest version. Okay. All right. Who's new in the room here, guys? Say hello to me. Don't be lurking. Say hello. It's Friday. Be friendly. Again, very quiet. We are 90 to 10-point range in the S&P for the last 3 hours. That's very, very tight. NASDAQ is whatever. Oh, I'm on the gold. I don't care about gold. I'm actually going to delete gold. I hate gold. Okay, hey, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It's popping. It's popping. I need to see a green dot. Show me a green dot, and I'll take the trade. Not quite. Wait, why is it not? Yeah, there we go. It's teasing me on the green dot, teasing me on the momentum dot. Okay, should be good. We're ready to go. Bye. Bye. And we're looking for, what are we looking for? We're looking for 94.25. Jesus Christ. Did I go? And we're done. And we're done. 94.25. The trade is done. You guys see how nice and clean that was. That was a perfectly clean counter trend trade, right? Just nice and clean counter trend trade. I'm so glad you're interested, Tyler. Who wants to talk to me about prop? Any questions about prop trading? Go ahead, ask me. I'm happy to sit it. And by the way, next week I should, Wealth Charts 365. Let me actually pull this up. I'm going to be there. You guys should all attend this if you're interested in prop trading. Let me find this. Wealth.charts.com 365. Let me show you. Summit, right? I'm going to be at the summit schedule. I believe I'm going to be on Wednesday. There I am. Jesus. I'm going to be on Wednesday, 12 to 1 o'clock. We're going to talk about prop. I'm going to talk about the strategies. I'm going to show you everything that we're going to do, right? So be sure you guys register. Let me send the link in here. So that's one thing. And then tomorrow, those of you guys who are trading CFDs, I have a whole CFD thing for you. Wait, what's going on over here? Why did this thing? Okay. Oh, it's this one. You know what? Okay, so we're going to get rid of this. Leave this. I just I'm going to clean up my wealth charts. Okay, so where are we at now? Just kind of let's take a look. On the S&P, we're positive bid. Just kind of review. We're positive trend, positive bid, all good. Just waiting for next trend signal to show for us. On Nasdaq, we've been positive trend, and actually, we're going to take this trade. I'm going to take this trade, and again, I'm going to explain to you why. This is a little bit aggressive, but it should be a lot of fun. Let me see if I can, hopefully this trade. What's my target on this trade? 61, and we're done. So let me explain to you why I kind of want to take these trades. So in a super aggressive trend structure, what is it? A super aggressive trend structure is where you take, where all the signals are going your way. You just keep taking trades, keep taking trades until you get stopped out. What you're betting on in a super aggressive trend structure is that the start of this trend is going to be longer than just 5-10 minutes. That maybe it'll be an hour, maybe it'll be an hour and a half. And if you make that implied bet, now again, you never know ahead of time, but during US hours, that's been the pattern, right? It's been the pattern. We break out, we start to have a 2, 3, 4 hour generational trend, right? And remember, we're trading on a minute time frame. So our ideal trade is just the first trade of trend. Then we wait for a pause, and if there is a retrace and a resumption, we'll take the second one. That's sort of a very conservative approach. But if you want to take a very aggressive approach, you just say, fuck it. I'm going on the assumption the trend continues, and anytime I have my trend sequence signals, I'm going to go. And the trend sequence signals, say that 3 times fast. Trend sequence signals are very, very easy to extract on this particular indicator because they're all incredibly visual. It requires 3 things: positive trend, short against long, positive momentum, green dot, positive slope. So this was obviously the first trade, boom, we took it. And then the second trade was here. We had positive momentum, positive slope, positive trend. We took the second trade, right? So you can just, depending on how aggressive you want to be, you can either just keep banging all these trend trades your way, or you could just take one at a time in a sequence. If you're trading small, you could be more aggressive because obviously, your risk is very limited, and you increase the frequency of wins when you're doing it this way. But either way you want to do it, totally viable. Now what's interesting now is this is the first time we're positive trend in the S&P, right? We're positive trend in the S&P. So now if we get a green dot, that's actually our first positive trend signal. And that's a legit signal for us to take, and we're going to take it. We're scalping. We're scalping. So we're always trading 1 point to 4 points in the S&P, 5 points to 20 points in NASDAQ. It's a scalp trade. You don't have to do it that way. But my whole idea is I'm taking very, very quick trades to make sure I get a high win rate. And then if I'm wrong, I have enough size to go out there, resolve, and keep myself, continuously positive. That's how we run a very, very consistent positive P&L. I'm only a couple of $100 away from getting funded on this account. This account needs $25,600. It's $500 to get funded. Next week, and I'm doing this at $10 trades. You just really nothing. It's a one approach. And if you come into coaching, you'll see lots of other different approaches. And by the way, if you come tomorrow, all right, hang tight. Let me find this freaking link. I really need to make this into a. Just bear with me a second here, guys. Shit. Where the fuck is this? Here it is. All right, you know what? I'm going to make this into a keyword for me. Hang on a second here. Templates. What should I call this? Let's see. Bear with me a second here, guys. I'm creating something so that I don't have to do this 1,000 times over. Okay. All right, cool. I'm going to put this is the link if you guys want to come join me tomorrow for the MetaTrader version of all of this. I created a whole MetaTrader sequence and execution system to how to trade this. So you guys should really, really enjoy this for longer term trades. Yeah, great question, Lee. So this is a $25,000 account. It only needs $1,500 to get funded. If you're doing $100 a day, it's 15 days to get funded. So it's a shorthand. That's not a promise. That's not a guarantee. That's not in any way, shape, or form. It's just a guidepost of how you want to run it. Okay, that's sort of like the numbers you want to run. Just a shorthand. If you really, if you want to be super, super conservative about how you want to run your trades. Okay, we're looking for a dot, baby. Show me a dot. We got positive bid in S&P. Got positive bid in NASDAQ. I want to see some dots. I got no dots. All right, let's see if I get a dot out of S&P. Does that answer your question, Lee? Yeah, that's absolutely right. So AKC, you're absolutely right. Scalping requires a lot of screen time, or it requires like a 2-3 hour screen time, and then you just you do it consistently every day. You just grow your account super steady every day. There's a lot of different ways that we can do this, and I talk about it in coaching. You can do it a couple of hours a day. You can do it 1 hour a day with like larger size, or if you guys come tomorrow, I'll show you how to do it on the longer term charts. With like just one trade per day, like much more standard, classic, maybe the kind of shit that you've seen before with other traders, but much more accurate because the indicator is so good at picking the spots. You don't need any setting, Albert. It's gonna automatically show up if it shows up. It's built into the BFF dots. Okay, it's built into it. You don't need any setting. It's literally just cut and paste it on your thing, and it should be good to go. All right, we got a trade here. We got a trade. Boom. Buy. I'm talking. So, guys, you always know that my biggest issue is that damn it. So legit trade here, but may not work for us. It's fine. If it doesn't, that's the beauty of trading small. We'll look for the next trade to repair this trade. But this is a legit trade for us in the sense this was positive bid, positive momentum. I just got a bad execution on this. I should have been in here at 97. Just bad execution because I was talking and not paying attention. And that's always, it's always my issue here. Oh man, this is just so hard to set up on this thing. Sorry, guys. Anyways, target is 98.75. Trade is retracing against us, but we'll see where we stand on this whole thing. You get the indicator by joining my coaching. Hold on a second. Let me show you the coaching link. This is the coaching link. The good thing about joining my coaching is I'll buy you 3 free Apex accounts. So not only are you going to get my coaching, but I'll actually give you money so you can go buy yourself some Apex accounts. So if you really want to do this deal, it's a great deal. Let me hang on a second. Let me just find it for you. Just bear with me a second. Oh man. Oh wait, hold on. No, wrong one. Never mind. I'll be right back, guys. Just 1 second. I'm just trying to pull this up here for you guys so I can give you the right information. I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay. This is the one. Right now, 3 free Apex accounts. All this deal for us if you want it. Okay. Still nursing this trade. It's still floating. Still floating against us. Market obviously having a hard time getting itself going, but it's Friday. It's the Friday play. Okay, so here's where it gets hopefully kind of fun for us. NASDAQ is showing us a red dot, right? And what happened here? Did I get stopped out? Hold on. Looks like I got stopped out, right? Yeah, I did get stopped out. Okay, fine. No problem. We got stopped out on this trend trade. Really, in some ways, my fault because I was late on execution. I should have been in here at 97. It went all the way up to 98.25. I just got in late because I was talking. So it wasn't even really that bad a signal. It was just a bad execution. But it doesn't matter. We're going to resolve this trade on the next trend setup that we get. So we're just going to have to be very patient until we get the next trend setup. And what that will require is nothing more than just a green dot on this move. So if we get the next candle coming back up on a green dot, we'll trade this on a on a trend setup, which will be fine. So and we're going to do this with with the mini S&P. We did 2 micros. Now we're going to do a mini S&P on the next contract. So we're just going to watch this very carefully. Come back down. 3. Actually, this was in the 109. Okay, this was in the 109. Okay. Oh yeah, if you traded 1 mini for the 150,000, you'd be okay, because 150,000 is a much larger account. So remember, 25,000 is a much smaller account, has a much lower target. So I'm trading it very, very small. I think you can trade 1 mini for 150. I've funded 150s a few times over the last year. You guys saw me do that, and yeah, it's 1 mini is actually a good starting pace for the 150 account. Okay, we're watching this. Here's what we need. Not this candle, because this candle isn't going to do it. But maybe the next candle is going to give us a green dot. And that's going to give us and we're going to watch this very, very carefully now. I'm just going to focus on resolving this trade. No more changing charts, no more bullshitting, just looking at this very hard. If this thing goes basically, so use the setup. If this thing goes basically 97, if we close 97 or above, that's going to give us a buy signal in the S&P for us to try to resolve this trade. So we're going to watch this very carefully. So watching this now for like a 97 close or better, that's going to give it, minute 20 on the clock here. So it's plenty, still quite a lot of time here on what's going on. So this would be like a classic trade for us. Right? I showed you like a more aggressive trade where I took every green dot possible. But in this case, the classic trade is you have green dots, a pause dot, which is a red dot. Now we go 51 seconds. Now we're starting to see 97s. Do 97 or better on the close. That's going to give us confidence that this is a trend trade signal. Stay very patient. It's not a trade until the candle closes. It's very, very tempting to just want to jump in with both hands, but that's not how we trade it. So just stay very, very patient here until the candle closes. Yes, I go market entry, limit exit. It's always market entry, limit exit. That's what we do. So 12 seconds. Let's be careful. This could disappear on us. Remember, 97. We're gonna wait till this candle closes and actually prints a dot. Okay, done. It printed a dot. Our target is 98.75. 98.75 on this trade. That's what we're looking for. $98.75 done. The whole trade is resolved, and the account goes back to positive. That's how we do it in a very, very clean format. Pure trend, pure hit, pure target. Right? Everybody got that? That's the sequence. Looking at NASDAQ. NASDAQ, we don't have a trade, because NASDAQ is still sort of positive trend. We haven't had a single pause. Now, if I want to chase my NASDAQ trades and I want to just simply, hit the green dots every time I get, like, this is a legitimate trend trade, but it's a trend trade we already made twice on this sequence. And only if you're super aggressive and just want to keep making trend trades because you think this is going to be a 2-3 hour trend sequence do you keep doing it? It's a way of doing it. It's absolutely a legitimate way of doing it, but it's a much more aggressive and riskier way. So I'm just trying to teach you a little bit less aggressive. Miguel says S&P done. Rick is absolutely right. Never repair a trend trade with a counter trend trade or vice versa. If you're in a trend mode, you repair them with trend trades, and if you're in counter trend mode, you repair them there. Oh, this is your first repair trade? You've never done a repair trade? Good for you. I'm glad. That's why we do them, so that you guys can actually see this. $1.30 on the clock. Another good clean trend trade on here, and of course S&P keeps going up now. But we don't have any. We don't have any signals just yet. Today was actually a really kind of a nice leisurely way to teach you picking trend trades, and then and then repairing them when they don't work. So you guys sort of saw it. We took this. What was a trend trade? Actually, it wasn't even a trend trade. I take it back. Here, this was a trade that I took right over here with bad execution. In other words, this trade right over here, 97. I get 97 and a quarter because I'm going to give myself slippage. So I enter 97 and a quarter. I have to exit 98 and a quarter. It goes 98.50. What happened here is I'm yapping. I'm not paying attention. I entered literally 10 seconds too late. That put me at a higher price, just did not hit my target. I got stopped out. So this was not a false signal. It was a false execution. But even with the false execution, I was like, okay, no problem. We get stopped out. We're going to come back here, wait for our next trend signal, which was right here, right? Then we really focused. Then we were like, okay, we're going to watch this very carefully, come in right on the dot, came in right on the dot, and got that executed very, very quickly. So 90% of losses in this strategy are just, you not paying attention or me not paying attention. Like a lot of it is just, it's not even the signal. The signal is 90% accurate. So if you kind of miss the trade, blame your execution much more than the signal. Occasionally the signal will miss. Of course, you could do everything right and the signal could miss. But most of the time, the reason you're losing in this strategy is because you're fucking up execution because you're just not focusing, which I do all the time because I'm talking to you guys and I'm not really zoning in on the chart. But if you really, really want to zone in on the chart and just, zone in here, you could just, like if you guys want me to do a single session where all I'm going to do is just take one instrument and, we hopefully find that, a trend range, and I'm just going to hit every fucking trade there is, I'm happy to do that with you. I won't be talking a lot, but you guys can see me just, putting on trades. Because the only thing that the scalp condition requires is focus. That's the only, it's the only drawback. You can't be like leisurely about it. What I try to do to combat against that is to do small size, because small size allows me to screw up a lot. But if you really want to make money, big money fast, you just need to focus. That's the only trade-off you have to have. You can't just be leisurely about it. Does that make sense to everybody? Peter, we talked about this yesterday in coaching, right? You can do whatever the fuck you want. It's not about what makes sense. It's what makes sense for me, right? I was talking about how trading is all about. Trading is such an interesting game. It's like walking naked in public, right? Everything you do is fully transparent. Everybody sees what you do. There's no, you can't hide. The market is totally public. Your trade is public. Your commitment is public. There's no hiding from it. It's like walking naked in public. So, in some ways, it's like it's a very public act, and in the other ways, it's an incredibly private act. And what I mean by private act is you have to decide personally what works for you on a private basis, right? It's not about having the right formula. It's having the right formula for you, right? And I talked about yesterday about the idea how there are people for whom wealth is built by saving. They'll never buy a Starbucks coffee. They'll save every penny they have. They make $100,000 and they save $80,000 because they starve themselves, right? And there are other people who make $100,000 and say, I'm going to make $500,000. That's how I'm going to get wealthy. I'm that second guy. I don't give a fuck about my stops, okay? I will overcome my stops, but I will keep my stops at a level where I don't give a shit about them, right? So that I don't have to, I can focus on my profits. So it all depends on your own personality. Have a great weekend, Lee. Thank you so much. Well, I'm doing European tomorrow, guys. I'm doing a Saturday session in European. So you guys are welcome to come join me. Okay. Oh, signal. Oh, and I'm late. And see, this is the problem. I'm talking. I'm not focusing. Like this would have been a great signal. 0225, right? I would have done the trade. But if you come in over here and you're like, oh, it still looks good, but you're over here, you're a loser. The only thing you cannot do is be late in this setup, right? So I've taught myself this lesson over and over again. Don't be the asshole that says, oh, I'm 10 seconds late. Let me try it. You might as well just put a gun to your head and blow your brains out because that's exactly what your account is going to happen to you, right? Most of the time. It's a horrible, horrible situation to force yourself into a bad execution. So I'm really going to try not to do that. Like right now, this is an execution I can focus on. I got the dot. I got 50 seconds. I'm not moving off this chart. And, if this chart trades, I'm going to trade it. But the other chart, that was too late. The beautiful thing about this approach is it doesn't matter if you missed 1 or 2 or 3. There'll be 4 or 5 of them in the next hour setting up. They all set up, right? And even if this one sets up and it stops you out, the next one will win. That's the whole paradigm about how you trade these accounts. If you have that mindset, you can do really, really well. Okay, 13, 14 seconds left. Clearly a dot. I'm just trading, watching this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Target is 99.75. Oh, I think that's how you do it. I was like, how do you get the chart to like widen out? And just click on here. I totally forgot in wealth charts. So pretty extended trend. Excuse me. I wouldn't be at all surprised if this thing retraced against us because it's really, we really bought it high up. And remember, the conservative trade is just trade the first or the second dot, not the third or the fourth. I'm just trading them continuously because the aggressive trade is to take every trend. Like, the hardest thing to do is to trade trend at the top. But when you have a strong trend, it's just going to lift, just going to keep lifting you up, lifting you up, lifting you up to target. So maybe this takes me to target, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't really matter because I have a plan for, for when it works and when it doesn't. But I'm just sort of showing you the aggressive plan here for those of you guys that want to trade more aggressively with a larger size. And it actually gets, when we get done right now. So you see, it's just a perfect example of like boom, boom, boom. And we're in trade. So that's it. We're in good shape. 10:30, we killed every trade. I traded 1, 2, 3 trend. You can see this right on the chart. 1, 2, 3. The cool thing about trading with me is that, you see every one of my trades. You see every one of my repairs. There's nothing hiding. There's nothing hidden. The account goes higher, and we just, we're going to target this to 26,500. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's basically, I don't even know if you want to call it risk trend trades. It's just like, say, it's trend trades. You're just taking trend trades until they stop working. Just, what's the assumption here? The assumption here is that this trend keeps on going. And especially with NASDAQ, when the thing starts running, it really does keep going, right? It really does keep going. And it totally runs. Rick wants me to talk about the reversal trades. I'm going to save reversal trades for next week because it's a really good subject for everybody to look at. But we'll do them next week. Next week, I will not be with you guys on Monday. Kathy's going to do the Monday show. I got to be at my daughter's camp recital. Tuesday is CPI. That's going to be a big day. We're going to do a mini marathon. We're going to try and do like 3 hours of CPI trading. So that'll be a lot of fun. Come hang out with me. And I will go nuts with you guys on that. Otherwise, final questions of the day. Anything else on your mind? Happy to show you. But a good day. All trend trades in NASDAQ worked. We went to the S&P. The S&P resolved. This is the repair trade in the S&P, and this is the MESU. This is the micro S&P. Just to show you. So micro S&P, the first counter trend trade worked. The second one, bad execution, not even a bad signal. Bad execution, I got stopped out, and that got resolved on the repair trade. So literally every single trade positive today, all net greens, and we're on our way towards target. That's how it all works. What happens when it's repair trade fails? We give ourselves, because I'm trading so small, Tyler, I can give myself 3, not just 1, 2, 3 structures, and it rarely fails. At that point. I mean, if it fails at that point, you start back to zero, back to even. You still, even at 3 structures, I think you can still survive it. But if you're going to get blown out at 3 structures, you may lose the account, which is that's how it goes. That's why you do multiple accounts, and that's why you run them. Sometimes you hit the Russian roulette, but that doesn't mean you don't play the game. Thank you so much, guys. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. I'll see everybody on Tuesday. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.